Good evening and welcome to this session of the virtual coaching classes organized by the Board of Studies. It's nice to be here again. So in one of the earlier classes, we discussed the Foreign Exchange Management Act, FEMA. That was for promoting a foreign trade and for building foreign exchange reserves, generally promoting a market for Forex in India and all that. But the topic that we're going to see today, I can say, is the flip side of FEMA, the dark side of FEMA, say, where we are going to talk about money laundering, right? Not money laundering, obviously, but prevention of money laundering. Okay, the idea is money laundering is not good. So first of all, we need to understand what is money laundering. Definitely, it's not what you see in the picture there. It's not about taking currency notes and putting them in the washing machine and laundering them and then putting them out to dry. Not at all. Basically, money laundering is about converting good money, or rather bad money, into good money. Put it very simply, converting bad money into good money. Okay, so we have Shailendra coming in. Welcome. Good evening, sir. So others can also just log on, sort of put in a good evening message there so that I know you're out there. And of course, you can keep asking questions also whenever it comes. Sudhir is also here. Welcome, sir. Okay, good. So we have the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which is older than 2002. It was extensively amended in 2002. Therefore, they are calling it 2002. There was an earlier law which was sort of a little older. So they've amended it slightly. What we are now studying is the amended new law called the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002, popularly known as PMLA. PMLA. Now, again, to put things in context for you, rarely will you be practicing this law. Hopefully not. Rarely will you be ever asked to advise people on this law. They may not come to you for that. Hopefully not. Okay. So welcome, Aniket ji. Welcome. So, but then why should you know this law at all? Because you would be operating in the periphery of this. Periphery means corners, somewhere in the corner. That's a very deep pit. Very dangerous and deep pit. Criminal acts are done where everything is deep. When you go into this topic, you'll realize that it's very dark, dangerous, deep. Dark, dangerous, deep pit. Right? If you fall into that, nobody can save you. You're out. But your clients will definitely want to go there for many reasons of compulsion. Now it is up to you to advise them on why it is wrong, and that there are other ways of doing this, or better still, you will advise them that this is how it is. So this law is a deterrent, a preventive law. It is meant to punish. It is meant to identify certain transactions which are illegal and punish them. Okay, this is in addition to criminal proceedings. In addition to criminal proceedings, action can be taken under this law also. Having given you this introduction, of course, money laundering is also fashionable. There are many professionals within courts who claim to be experts in this. But you'll see how they will become experts. But somewhere you are skating on thin ice. As I told you, it's a deep, dark, deep, dangerous pit. So these gentlemen and ladies who are calling themselves great at money laundering, they are skating on the very corner of that pit. And anytime they can fall in. And if they fall in, nobody can save them. I'm giving you this analogy of a deep, dark, dangerous pit. Why? Again and again, to help you to understand that there is no great fun or no great, shall we say, there's no greatness in saying that you are good at money. Maybe you will earn money. Maybe you will earn a lot of money because you are helping people to convert bad money into good money. And maybe you live a luxurious lifestyle. But what the person is doing is illegal, criminal, and no great fun in what is done. So sometimes, it will be, sometimes this topic, money laundering, will be sold to you as some sort of a fashionable thing to do. And some sort of a great thing where you are not doing that, then you are not capable like that. Nothing wrong. If this is your incapability, let it continue to be your incapability. If you are not capable of money laundering, you are good. If you are capable of money laundering, you are cheap. Anybody who does money laundering and calls themselves a professional is cheap. They are doing it only for money, for their own luxurious lifestyle, but not a good idea. This coming again, I'm giving it in my usual style as a senior to a group of people who are yet to enter. That's why, many times in my advanced MCS classes, I ask people, how many of you are ethical? These are guys who are yet to write their final exam, ladies who are yet to write their final exam. So all of them will raise their hands. Obviously, they are so strong in their ethics, etc., etc., etc. They might even be looking at me with a little bit of cash. See, who are you? You are a chartered accountant. Don't talk to me about ethics. I am the most ethical person like that. Then I'll ask them, how many of you will be ethical 5 years later or down the line? 5 years later, you don't know where you'll be. You'll be a chartered accountant. You don't know what compulsion you are under, which type of company you are working for, which type of clients you are working with. And that is when the danger starts. That is when the compulsion to, do all these things. Your lifestyle may compel you. Other compulsions may be there. Whatever may be the compulsions, my dear friends, do not succumb to them. And for which you should know what is money laundering. It is a highly sophisticated act. That's why, sometimes it is touted as some sort of a great skill, money laundering. I'm into laundering. I do this, I do that. And these people will be flying every day all over the world. They'll be going across the world, Singapore, Hong Kong, Cayman Islands, Seychelles. And they'll be living a very posh lifestyle. Okay. So sometimes you tend to think that maybe they are very big shots. Anyway, it's a highly sophisticated act of covering up or camouflaging. Camouflaging means hiding. Camouflaging is a very sort of an English word derived from French, meaning hiding, camouflage, where you merge with the background. If you remember, many Army and Navy people, they wear camouflage dresses. Maybe even you would have worn camouflage, pants and all that. So the color would be sort of like brown with stripes on it. So it will merge with, just like the tiger merges with its background, you will also merge with. So the idea is to cover it up, hide it. Okay, so covering up or hiding or camouflaging the identity or origin of illegally obtained earnings or illegally obtained income so that they appear to have been derived from lawful sources. So what is being done is illegal. Now, one important problem with illegal activities is that you cannot take payment through banking channels. Most illegal activities, you can't take payment through banking channels. Okay, so once the money starts accumulating, you end up with a lot of cash. So what do you do with that cash illegally obtained? Of course, one well-known source of this illegal earning is untaxed money. See, that is easy. That is actually, according to me, that is the most stupidest. But you see what happens? Somebody doesn't pay tax. They want to evade a tax. So you do what is known as tax planning. Okay, that is another very funny word. So you do tax planning. And then what do? You avoid paying tax. Right? Somewhere that has to come out of the system, boss. See, untaxed money cannot be in the system. It has to come out of the system. It has to come out in cash. Otherwise, it will be always visible there in some form or the other, either in long outstanding creditors, unsecured loans, or in the balance sheet. Easily they can find out. Or if you are lucky, expenses. You see, even if you say you're going to show book expenses, false or bogus expenses, agreed. That expense needs to be paid for. Yeah, so you can't pay in banking account where you have. So somewhere, if you let us say you create bogus companies and you make contract payments to them, deduct 2% tax, blah blah blah. Then from somewhere you have to take it out in the form of cash. Now, this cash, what will you do? That is easiest, stupidest. Not paying tax is the most stupid thing that person can do. And that why I say stupid, because ultimately this lady or gentleman will end up with cash or unexplainable credits in their balance sheet. Somewhere, either you will have cash, which will be right royally sitting in your house or in some other place, or unexplainable. I'm using the words very carefully, not unexplained. If it is unexplained, 698 and 69B, unexplainable. And ultimately, in one survey or in one search, the department will come and take everything and they will go. In fact, department also knows what you are doing. So they will not come every year. They will wait for that person to, cover up. Of course, see, today, this topic, I'm going to talk very freely. You will have to know this, because unless we talk about it, how will you ever know, and who will ever tell you about this? It will be, see, at one point in time, you wouldn't know what they are talking about. It will be how, and the words, see, we use so many bullshit words. I'm sorry to use the word bullshit, but then bullshit words that are big sounding, but basically mean nothing. As I was talking about, the other day, I was thanking Aniket ji for giving me that reference to the big shot. See, same thing. Keep on using big words, you think you are intelligent. You are not, because once you define those big words in ordinary terms, it's cheap. There's nothing in what you're really doing. So tax planning is one of those words that we use, or something like that. The idea is, basically what you're doing is you are helping that fellow to avoid tax. There are only so many ways of doing it, brothers and sisters. It has already been discovered. You will not discover one new method. You may discover a variant. You may come out with a variant. Finally, bottom line, you will end up with balance sheet credit items or cash in the hand, which is unexplainable. Either or, okay, chalo, that cash can become land, which is again acquired by cash without source. It can again become gold. Everywhere there is a lot of, I will show you all that. How today, thanks to the enlightened Prime Minister that we have been slowly cornering this, and we have brought it down so that it's impossible for you to use that cash. See, the Income Tax Act is used to control. PMLA itself is used to punish. Other banking regulation act is used. Everywhere you have control, so that when a person is trying to convert cash, into something, problem. Anyway, Bonnie Jose is asking, sir, actually, is there not real legal tax planning? Yeah, see, again, my dear friend, tax investments are there, no doubt about it. Your ATC, blah, blah. What are you trying to do there? You're simply locking up your money for lower interest. If you are a good accountant, what you should do, you shouldn't talk about tax planning. You should talk about which is better. For example, since we are talking about it, let me go there also. 54EC. I'm talking about Income Tax Act, Section 54EC. You have to invest 50 lakhs. Then you don't pay capital gains tax of 20%. Now, that investment will give you hardly post-tax 3%, 4%. It gives 6%, 7%, maybe with higher interest, you'll get little more, but post-tax, it will be very negligible. But what you need to do is, you need to find out a discounted cash flow. You have to see the cash flows going forward. Today, the tax that you're saving versus going forward, what will be your income? What could be your ideal income? Discount it and see. If you got a required return, discount it and see. In my experiments, most of the time 54EC wins, because right now you get 20% savings. So if I invest that 20% also somewhere, the return on that is also going to be there. So I'm thinking as a pure accountant here. If you compare like that, yes, there are some marginally beneficial investments, marginally beneficial activities are there you can do. But that's about it, boss. So go, don't keep, I mean, yeah, you can, but see, better still, some of you might even be disappointed with what I'm saying, because you might have been dreaming that once you complete your course, you will come in and you will start doing tax planning, right, left, and center, help clients to avoid tax. It will be a temporary postponement. Ultimately, they'll end up in deep shit. Whereas, try the method that I did when I started my practice. And then for about 7 years, even I was deluded, like most. What is coming is not advice given by an old man to youngsters. It is advice given, or you could say it is experience sharing of a man who has got experience with people who are yet to go there. I've traveled this path, and I tell you, better stop all that. I was doing all this nonsense myself. So at one stage, I realized that what I need is rich clients who are very successful, who earn a lot and keep on earning more and more. And these clients will pay me more and more fees legitimately. So I started, instead of going into these criminals and tax evaders, I started looking for good businesses who needed good advice and who were willing to listen and who were willing to grow. And they paid taxes. They didn't want me to do tax planning. So that pressure was not there on me. Rather, the pressure was on me to advise them properly, to ensure that they are compliant, to ensure that they are not losing money, to ensure that the entire tax law framework was clearly complied with by them. Thereby, they saved a lot of money as against companies that were non-compliant, thinking that they are smart, ending up paying interest, penalty, etc., etc. These guys are happy. They do business. They also tell me, Srikanth, with you, I'm able to do my business with free of mind. And I'm able to earn more. Chalo, no problem. 100 rupees, I earn more, 30 rupees. Now with the lower tax rate of 25%, it is nothing. So they are willing to share 1/4 of their earning, take it and go. Balance 75, I will reinvest it in my business and grow. So this type of philosophy, we have, such clients are there. A lot of these guys are there. You just go and look for them and they will give you the type of income that you want. Sorry, I'm going in deeply into unnecessary area, but take it from me. You don't have to be unethical. You don't have to do unethical things to be successful in practice. You can be extremely ethical and you can ensure that your clients are extremely ethical. As India grows, they will grow. And as they grow, you will grow. Automatically, they will pay you more and more fees. What more? You live a luxurious lifestyle. I'm not telling you to be, like a saint and all. Very decent lifestyle. No need to be. And you can also sleep peacefully. They can sleep peacefully. Am I correct or not? Respect in society. Think like that. Okay. Then where does money laundering come in? Okay. It is, imagine those pathetic creatures, who are practicing in money laundering. They no sleep. Daily they go to the bar, get drunk, because they have to forget the pressure, stress management. They don't know, they have no family life, half the time running around the world, earning more and more and more. One fine morning at 55, major cardiac arrest, gone. And who enjoys all the money? Children. Or not even that. Somebody. Okay. Anyway, think about that. Not a life, not a great life to live. Okay. Chalo. Now, so money laundering is the process by which illegal funds and assets are converted into legitimate funds and assets. How that is done, we will show you. In Tamil Nadu, there is a famous quotation. It's in Tamil, but I will translate it for you. It says, Kalavum Katru Mara. Kalavum Katru. Kalavum means thieving, robbery. Okay, so in Tamil Nadu, they say even robbery or bad things, learn it. But then Katru, learn. Mara means forget. After you learn, don't go there. But you should know it. Even that you should know what it is. Only then you will avoid it. Otherwise, you might unknowingly get into that. Therefore, we teach you this subject and ask you to be careful while advising your clients. Right? So, this is the process by which illegal, again and again we use the word, you notice illegal. Of course, not paying tax is illegal, but that is the least of the illegal things. There are more illegal activities than that. We'll talk about that also. Okay. In other words, it is basically the process of converting illegal or black money of a person into legal or white money. Now we come to the actual word. It is the process used by criminals to wash their tainted. Tainted means stained. See, when something falls on a white shirt, it leaves a dark stain, not tainted, unclean. So they want to make the tainted money to make it clean. That is why they use the word money laundering. So this white shirt, suppose there's a black mark, you clean it and you make it white, clean. So illegal or black money is converted into legal or white money. Okay, so good. Now, this law is meant to prevent and control money laundering. That is the main. Also, when they try to prevent and control money laundering, they will end up discovering a lot of money, okay, illegal money. What to do with that? See, okay, somebody is engaged in smuggling activity, gets caught. Obviously, when they raid his buildings, there'll be so much which is not accounted for, which is not taxed. Forget tax, it is illegal, criminal. Okay, so of course there will be tax evasion. Don't worry, when once the PMLA gets in or customs gets in, income tax will come in somewhere. In fact, for your information, the income tax department takes control of that property. Once everything, all other departments have to be, there is an appropriate authority. whose job is to divide everything and give it to all of them. Okay, once the PMLA comes in. So that is how it is. So ultimately, the assets may be there, which are acquired through illegal means. So they will trace the origin. We'll see that how, even though you are trying to convert it, there will be a trail. Somewhere the link will be there. Using that link, they will say, hey, this money was used to fund this property. This is also done through a group of people called binamis. Binami is, see, you want to buy a property, you don't have white money, so you will convert it. Obviously, it can't come back to you, so you will push it to somebody else. That man will show it as his income, then he will get it white, then he will buy it. Then that will become his property, but he will be holding it as a binami. Means it is your property held in his name. You are the beneficial owner illegally. Okay, he can't go and tell it is your property. Or still, you can't tell that it is your property. You means the gentleman, whoever did this, when he is walking in Bombay, he is going by Coffee Paradise, a huge building belongs to him, but he can't tell, hey, that is my building. Why? Because it is not in his name. It is in somebody else's name. But the link will be there somewhere. Okay. Obviously, the real owner is him. The persons whose names are mentioned, if they try to do anything, he'll kill them. Okay. They will also know what it is all about, but they will get some small thing out of it, and this man will be in jail. See, ultimately, seriously, I don't want to go again and again there, but anyway. Okay, so one important word that you have to learn, and I'm also happy that Bonnie just says, not at all disappointed. I'm so happy about it. Okay. So one important word, proceeds of crime. What a word, huh? Proceeds of crime. You get proceeds of sales. When you sell an immovable property, you get proceeds. Well, sale proceeds. This is proceeds of crime. Some crime is committed, and for that money is earned. So any property derived or obtained directly or indirectly by any person as a result of criminal activity relating to a scheduled offense. So this law, there are schedules at that, Schedule 1 and Schedule 2, A and B. In that schedule, lot of offenses are mentioned. So any activity, criminal activity relating to a scheduled offense, if any property is a white term, it includes cash, precious metals, land, anything, shares. Once you get into securities, it will be dangerous because you can't buy shares with the untaxed money. Unless you route it through some benamis and all, they hold it. Okay, then you can share also. Securities can be, ultimately. Which is why one fine morning, when demonetization was announced, a lot of people were left high and dry. They did not, because they were sitting on piles of cash, which are in the old currency, in the old denominations, the specified banknotes, SBNs. So what will they do? Once on the date, that is out. Of course, there is a bigger story. Let's not even go there. That 7th of December, I think, day, very powerful day. Okay, any property derived or obtained directly or indirectly by any person as a result of criminal activity relating to a scheduled offense, or the value of any such property, or where such property is taken or held outside the country, then the property equivalent in value held within the country or abroad. Suppose it is taken outside the country, then the equivalent in value, okay, in the local currency or what. So you have to calculate. As I told you, at one point in time, you may not be able to hold it here. Do you remember? We were talking about export proceeds and import. When I told you, that is one method of money laundering. That is one method of money laundering, where you take undervalue and export, then take the money there, or overvalue and import, and keep the money there. Anyway, you have to get money, but that money will be in the form of cash. How to bring it in? That is where the reverse money laundering works. Okay. So finally, you'll feel nothing is going to work. So you'll say, you'll open a Swiss bank account and transfer everything there and keep it there. That is the only way for you to keep your money. No other way. Because they are in your country, it will get easily, it's now transparently seen in your country now. So you will have to go to some country which will allow you to hold this without revealing it to anybody. Okay. That is the only country as of now. where the banking system is age-old banking system, which will not reveal the names of the account holders, is Switzerland, where you can open an account. That's why the Swiss bank accounts are so famous. Otherwise, there's nothing great. Except that Switzerland is a beautiful country. Definitely, it's worth visiting and enjoying. That is there, I agree. But other than that, the opening Swiss bank accounts, Swiss chocolates are better than opening Swiss bank accounts, is what I would say. Or Swiss watercolor. I use watercoloring. I use Swiss watercolors, which are excellent. Watercolor pencils, which are excellent, but or Swiss watches for that matter, but not Swiss bank accounts. Okay, so proceeds of crime include property not only derived or obtained from the offense, but also any property which may directly or indirectly be derived or obtained as a result of any criminal activity relatable to the scheduled offense. See, that is what I meant when I said there will be a trail. So we identify a Benami property, then we start moving behind it. We ask that Benami to give source. So where did you get this from? What? Then he will give some bullshit. Then in that bullshit, one line of trail will come, which is one of the loans given would be from a link in this. There we go. And then we start investigating. There, that link will be that final link. He will open up, then this whole thing will come out. So it's also very dangerous because many of these, many of this money is held by criminals. And to begin with, how did they earn this money? By killing people. So you go around trying to expose them, what they will do? They will kill. They are not, see, they are, one of the important crimes we are talking about is killing. You know, contract killing as it is called. In Mumbai, it's called, what is that? Supari killings. Just to hire a guy, he give him a gun, tell him, just give him a name and a address. He won't even know who he is killing. He just simply go, dishum, come back. That's all. That's as easy as, I don't know, any Mumbai friends here will have to clarify this for me, but that's it. Straight away, matter over, gone. Okay, that fellow doesn't even know who he's killing. Just gets a name, not even a name, an address and a photo. Just to go, kill, come, that's all. Okay. Property. Any property or assets of every description, whether corporeal or incorporeal, means whether intellectual property, it's also included incorporeal assets, corporeal, movable or immovable, tangible or intangible, and includes deeds and instruments evidencing title to or interest in such property or assets wherever located. It includes property of any kind used in the commission of an offense under this act. See, used in the commission is mainly for narcotics because narcotic itself is property. Narcotics meaning cocaine or other drugs, they are themselves property. See, many cases, they have medicinal uses also. They have a market. There is a genuine market for psychotropic drugs, which are actually used for medicinal purposes, but also used for, addiction. Addicts also use them. So narcotics is a very, very powerful scheduled offense, not to be encouraged. Transfer, they have defined transfer for specific purposes, include sale, purchase, mortgage, pledge, gift, loan, or any other form of transfer of right, title, possession, or lien. Right? Now we come to scheduled offense. As I told you, there are A, B, C. The offenses specified in under Part A or the offenses specified under Part B of the schedule, if the total value involved is 1 crore rupees or more, or the offenses specified under Part C of the schedule. You need not know these schedules by heart and all. Just remember that there are schedules of which, the narcotic substances are very dangerous. Any, shall we say, offense involving narcotic substances is not taken very seriously, very easily. It's taken with a further, strictness. Not that smuggling gold is good, but or smuggling, without paying customs duty and all is good. But, narcotic substances are dangerous. So, especially India also has very strict rules for narcotics, but I'm not saying that. But if you try the stunt in Singapore or Malaysia or US, you're out. In possession, that's it. No further discussions. Straight away, detention. Okay. India also. in possession. If apprehended in possession in an airport or crossing the customs border with narcotics, can't. Which is why even the normal smugglers, between them they have an ethical code. For example, there are guys who do other types of smuggling, but who will say, I don't do drugs. As if that is some sort of an ethics. I do, but I don't do drugs. Like that. Chala. Now, these are sources from where illegal money is obtained. As I told you, drug trafficking, smuggling. Smuggling is simply bringing goods into a territory without paying customs. That's all. See, if there is no customs duty, you will declare and bring it. Since customs duty is there, you don't want to pay, you bring it without paying customs duty, which would make it very costly. Okay, so that is the idea. Okay. In those days, we used to have many brands which were not manufactured in India. Okay, so they were available abroad, and you used to bring them in. The customs duty used to be there. So there was a lot of big benefit for people to bring in the goods without paying the customs duty. So that was something. Again, such goods cannot be paid for through banking channels. So if you wanted to buy in those days, if you wanted to buy a Walkman, it was such a big thing, Walkman, you have to go to a place where the smugglers would be operating. They would have petty shops where they would keep some customs paid goods also, so that whenever an inspection is made, they will show the customs paid goods which are being sold. But there will be small dukans, just small dukans. It used to be called Burma Bazaar in Chennai, where you'll go there and they will. So if you want it for cash, then they will give it to you without a customs duty. They will be having. It will come in from the harbor and they will give it to you. So this is, but again, cash. Okay. Terrorist acts. See, again, you can't give a terrorist a bank transfer. You have to give him cash, and only cash will work. Where will this cash come from? So it is generated, right? Converted and taken out and used. Bribery and corruption, right? Gambling, robbery, cheating, illegal gambling, I would say, because there's sometimes legal gambling is also there. Okay. Counterfeiting, that again is another method of crime. See what happens in counterfeiting. Counterfeiting means printing dud notes, printing money, okay, illegally. So let us say you print a 2,000 rupee note or a 2,000 rupees is the most profitable. Believe me, printing 100 rupee notes is the worst thing. I mean, better you do legitimate business rather than printing 100 rupee notes. 2,000 rupee notes, after all the expenses, you still get something out of it. That will be in cash. Now that cash will again have to be converted, right? Suppose you are printing 2,000 rupee notes, you have to push it into the system. So there are 3 levels of middlemen there. Each one gets a cut. So when you give a 2,000 rupee note, first point, you are the guy printer. It's not as if they'll give you 1,800. They'll give you hardly 800 bucks or 900 bucks because a maximum 1,000. The remaining 1,000 gets distributed down the line till it goes to the market system where somebody gets it and they have to take it to the bank, whatever it is. Till the final Aam Aadmi gets that bad note. It is in the system, and the system takes a cut every time. The system takes a cut, right? So somebody gives good money, lower amount, and takes the 2,000 rupee note at every stage. So he takes it at 1,000, he gives it to somebody, 1,200. So 200 goes to him. 1,000 he has to again reinvest in his business. Call it whatever it is, okay? And so believe me, counterfeiting is sometimes it's so difficult to run. It's better to do legitimate business. You make decent profit, pay some tax, live a decent life sometimes. And only 2,000 to 500 rupee maximum. If you go below that, there is no point in printing the note. The cost of printing may be more than what you're getting out of it. Okay. Anyway, so then you have extortion, kidnapping and all that. Okay, again, all that. So now we are able to see where we are going. So at the underbelly of this law are these things. On the top, you have the businessman who does not pay tax, who wants to convert his black money. So where does it go ultimately? It has to go through this system only. It has to go through these people, ultimately it will go to fund terrorism and things like that. Whether we like, so when you ultimately you avoid tax and you take the cash and you push it into the system, believe me, the system doesn't care, good or bad. The system takes that cash and uses it for whatever it wants. Okay, now, payment system, a system that enables payment to be effected between a payer and a beneficiary, involving clearing, payment or settlement service, or all of them. Payment system includes the systems enabling credit card operations, debit card operations, smart card, money transfer, etc. So this payment system operator means a person who operates a payment system, and such person includes his overseas principal. So there is a duty on operators of payment systems to give information about transactions. More about it later. Mostly banks operate payment systems. We already seen money laundering. We've seen the definition, section 3. This is, let's see the definition. This is the definition of money laundering. We gave a simple definition, which is converting black money into white money. Now we are seeing a more elaborate definition. Whosoever directly or indirectly attempts to indulge or knowingly assists or knowingly is a party or is actually involved in any process or activity connected with the proceeds of crime, including its concealment, possession, acquisition for use, and projecting or claiming it as untainted property, shall be guilty of the offense of money laundering. Right? Now, suddenly a huge retail outlet is started, investment comes in, and people don't know how the guy who's running it, the big shot, whose photograph appears everywhere, and he's seen as a very, very popular and successful man. Nobody knows how he got that money. Where did he get it from? So this is called projecting or claiming it as untainted. What has happened is this fellow has received it from the underworld, who have invested in his business, but they have done it through how they will do it. No, that is where we got a lot of our fellow professionals who are experts in doing this. They assist smugglers to do this, or they assist politicians to do it. They assist criminals to do it, who shoot people and kill them. That money they take it. They open a company in Singapore, and then they take the money with them out and they deposit it in some accounts, then transfer it, and small quantities are transferred. And once it reaches the destination, it is again routed through another bank account, through 3 or 4 dummy companies. And finally, once it is thoroughly cleaned, it goes to maybe an investment company. And that investment company in turn will invest into this business. FDI, foreign direct investment. Wow, we are so happy, we are so proud. But what has happened here is called circling. This is called circling or routing. Circle routing or routing it. Routing is very, very dangerous. Don't do it. Many times I've got clients who come to me and talked about it. And I've told them, boss, finally what you're talking about is routing. Be careful, because somewhere it will get caught. And generally, I will wash my hands and I will say, I am no longer responsible. There have been clients who wanted me to do it. I've said no. And because of it, they said, okay, we'll look at somebody who can do it. The beauty is the legitimate part of their businesses, they still hire me. The illegitimate part, they hire other people. And I ensure that there is a clear distinction. The legitimate businesses are my castle. I protect it. The illegitimate business, I say, I don't care what happens. I don't even know what you're doing. I don't even care. Because you might ask me, why am I even associating? Because of relationships and all. I say, the legitimate part, I am going to be 100%. So they also know that. So they know there is one legitimate part which I'm protecting and which I am final word. But there is an illegitimate area where they got other people who within quotes know how to do it. And maybe, yes, I'm so happy for you, my dear friend, but that way lies madness. So what to do? We studied Bhagavad Gita when we were 22 and we've started following it when we were 25. What to do? A person shall be guilty of offense of money. See, this is how elaborate definition. For the removal of doubts. I'm not saying, the law is telling. The law says for the removal of doubts. A person, I'm not saying this. It is there in the law. A person shall be guilty of offense of money laundering if such person directly or indirectly attempts to indulge or knowingly assists or knowingly is a party or is actually involved in any process or activity connected with the proceeds of crime, including its concealment, possession, acquisition or use, and projecting or claiming it as untainted property. Now, I'll tell you one real incident without naming names and all that. But again, in the spirit of sharing knowledge, this is also important knowledge. When Demon was announced, I told you, people were sitting on cash, what to do, where to go, what to do. So they started identifying legitimate businesses which were not doing them. They had legitimate businesses which had good assets, but solvency issues. So they were overextended with the bank. Actually, it so happens around the time of Demon, the construction industry was in deep shit. The property development, infrastructure, construction. So they identified construction companies and infrastructure companies with huge land banks. These poor fellows, in the boom, they invested in the Gurgaon or in Mumbai, or in Mumbai, of course, it would be a different story. Wherever, Chennai, ECR, OMR, wherever they thought there is going to be growth, they started investing, they leveraged, they borrowed money, bought land, then they started talking about land banks. You got land bank and all that. So, and then these guys are sitting on land now. And they were highly overextended. They don't have money. Starved for money. So, these people who are having this cash, they go and they force them. In many cases, these people who are having this huge cash basically are criminals, or connected with criminals, or they have dadas, gundas, and all. So they use these gundaism to tell these people, you have to take this money now. So I will give you 100 rupees. Example, 100 rupees. No, you will give me a loan agreement for 100 rupees, wherein you will say that in case you don't pay, the land will be mine. So we will get it registered also, or we will sign it and keep it as it's a loan agreement, wherein we will give you the cash. Take it. If you sign for 100, I'll give you 60. Do whatever you want with that 60. Right? I'll keep that 40. And sorry, you take that 60, I'll keep that 40, you use it, and later on you return to me 30. 130 you keep. That is, the guy who takes it will get 30. This fellow will get 70. Now you take 60, return me 30. Now I'll take 40 now. Like that they were trying to, that is, they'll give only 60. You have to give back 30 after a certain period. If you don't give back 30, land will be taken. This were type of agreements. Very, very illegal. I'm only stating it. You asked me for proof. Actually, the problem was these agreements got raided and collected. So once the PMLA people got this agreements, they started asking, who forced you to do this? Who? That is how they will come to know. Because another beauty is those agreements are blank. The name of the borrower is there, name of the lender is not there. Idea is they will fill up the name of the lender later on. See, basically gundaism. So this guy now who is in between becomes a party. He is guilty of what? He is knowingly assisting with proceeds of crime, whatever it is. Bribery is a crime. We saw that now. One of the crimes. Bribery and corruption. For politicians, experts in that. Everything and anything, they take a commission cut. How they'll take in? Do you think bank payment will be done? Neft? I don't think so. Okay. So, just give me 1 minute. Sorry. Yeah. Somebody is continuously trying. Now, so with the proceeds of crime, including its concealment, possession, acquisition, or use. So in this case, what he has done, he has helped in its concealment. Okay. Now what? See, the idea is simple. Now he has to do something. What he did, he took all that money and started depositing it. in various bank accounts and then collecting it together. Finally, he got caught. And about 100 people like that got caught in one shot after demon. And they were all literally third-degree treatment. Because they are not criminals. They are all very, very big shots in society. But they are associated with criminals. They are treated like criminals. So the process or activity connected with proceeds of crime is a continuing activity and continues till such time a person is directly or indirectly enjoying the proceeds of crime by its concealment or possession or acquisition or use or protecting it as untainted property or claiming it as untainted property in any manner whatsoever. So there is no one single act. It is a continuing activity. Anywhere in the chain, it can be caught and he can be punished, so long as he is linked. See, many people will be living in huge bungalows, but if you go to the sub-registrar's office, you'll find it is not in their name. But they'll be living in it. They'll be enjoying the proceeds of crime, but they won't be owning it. They cannot own it. So if you keep asking who's who, they'll be ready to run. Okay, that is the type of nasty life that they lead. Anytime they have to run, they can be arrested. Such is the pitiable life that they lead. But they'll be having so many assets, not in their name, but they can enjoy. See, the horoscope of this fellow is like that. Huh? He's got so much wealth, but nothing in his name. He can only enjoy, and that too for a short time. Nothing can be in his name. So, money laundering is done how? These are methods of doing money laundering. Friends, don't take notes for future use. Take notes for avoiding. Methods are many. See, some of these methods have been plugged. Thanks to a legislature, it is plugged. Yes, stock markets were one easy method because in those days, they used to have bogus contract notes by which loss will be booked. They will push money into the stock market, book losses or book profits. And in some cases, there will be no tax also, and then take the money out. That was possible. Today, it is not possible. Today, with electronic trading, it is not going to happen. Everything is transparent. You can't do. And KYC is there. It's very impossible to do in stock market today, money laundering. Very difficult. One method is still open. IPO route is still open. The so-called S Bank and all, they were indulging in that, to my knowledge. But again, no proof. But many IPOs which came around that time, they were using primary market for money laundering. How? They will go for an IPO, right? And the idea is not to get money, but to push money in. So the company will be useless company. Some pathetic creatures will apply for that IPO based on press release and all. But most people will know that it is a useless company meant for money laundering. So what will happen? The public, there will be a lot of bank accounts opened. That is money laundering, you need layering. So about 10,000 accounts will be opened 6 months. In 6 months in various places. Then cash will be deposited in those accounts. And then from those accounts, money will be transferred to the company's account. And so the application forms will be bogus application forms and all. So the money will come in. Somebody will keep track of it, dividend all will go, those accounts will be operated. But idea is this money which was proceeds of crime would be pushed through the bank accounts into the IPO, and here it will come as paid-up capital of this company. Thereafter, of course, 3, 4, 5 years later, slowly they'll dispose the share and the market goes up, take it out, whatever, buy back, some nonsense, and then take back and own the share, whatever. So the company will wipe off and something. Okay, that is one thing. There is one well-known method of money laundering through IPO. Now also it's possible. With all this, it's still possible. Can do it because limit is there. Now up to 2 lakhs, you can go. You can go 50. See, up to 50,000 rupees, you can deposit cash. If you open sufficient number of accounts, you go below the radar. You can. It is a planned activity. It cannot be done casually. If you take a lot of effort, you can. It's not impossible. You can. Agriculture, where agricultural income is still untaxed in India, right? So you take a lot of cash and you deposit it in the account and say that it came out of agricultural income. How to prove it? Land again. Some land you show some documents and say, you catch hold of people who have agricultural land and tell that they've got agricultural income, push it in up to the limit or little more than the limit. You pay 10% tax also, no problem. Na? Distribute it, convert. This is one method of conversion. Property markets. Again, because property markets can absorb cash. Okay, there is a gap between the guideline value and the real market value. That gap is always filled in cash. See, that is one actual method by which you can take untaxed money and push it into land. Because most cases, when you go a little further away, the land, the guideline value will be far lower than the actual price. So between the two gap, that will be in cash. So if you have cash pay, which is why most politicians love land, they keep on buying because the guideline value only they have to show source. The balance cash they can simply dump and they can take it. I had one example where genuine case, okay, where you can even say that I am coming within this definition now, sort of. Okay, but see the case, you will understand what I am talking about. Widow and her daughter are living in a house. Good house in a very, very prominent location. The local politician decides to buy it. So he comes to her one day and he says, I'm buying. He quotes a price that is atrocious, very high price. So that is the beauty of it. She needs to get her daughter married off. But he says, I cannot pay anything in check. Everything in cash. Take it or leave it. But if you don't sell, I will keep troubling. I will keep creating problems. It is local data. So she has no other go. So they consulted what to do. I said, what to do? This is your bad luck. Take it. How to bring it in, sir? How to bring it? What to do? So this is how it is. How to do it, you work out. How to help that lady, you decide. Whether to help that lady at all. See, there are genuine people caught in this trap. Okay, they have to also be helped. What to do? You tell me. Property markets are there. So what happens now? This guy gets this land. He pushes that money. No, this lady is left with cash. What to do with it? Beware of, fake companies, which are created. I told you, bogus companies you create in Singapore, push money there, then send the money out. See, LRS is also a beautiful money laundering method. Up to $250,000 you can send. You can even invest it. So you open companies in Singapore, then deposit cash here in small installments. Then one fine morning, send it to Singapore. And there you collect it all in one or two holding companies. Then you push it to another company, Cayman Islands, Seychelles, keep pushing it. Then again, take it to London. And from London, you create an investment company into which all this money comes in. And then, very, very legitimately invest it back in as FDI into India. It's a common source. Most of the airline companies got their investment like this only. I'm possibly revealing too much, but that is a fact. Including famous Jet Airways, everybody got it only through routing. And they got the money back in. Which is why there was even a popular quotation that about 60% of FDI is going out of India and coming back. Anyway, so long as it's coming back in foreign exchange, we are happy. Now, think about it. When all this is happening, no, it is not happening free of cost. Every stage there is a commission. Every stage there is a cost. No problem, because the money comes into the system, right? So up to 40% will be spent. To convert 100 rupees into white, you have to spend 40. So you will get back only 60 back into the system. This is process loss. Okay, loss of process. If you're talking in costing and engineering terms, process loss. So again, efficiency is reduce the process loss and things like that. Okay, all sorts of stuff. Okay, showing it as loans. Again, that's only for some time. Ultimately, how to repay the loan? Cash. So like that. False export-import invoices. I gave you a lot of examples. I don't want to do that again. So there are many methods of money laundering. And so not agricultural products, it happens through agricultural income. Not product, again products, meaning, see, there is no tax on sale of agricultural produce. So if somebody is having agricultural land, then he says, I group crops in it, and during the year I got income. On that income, there is no tax. So you use it and you create so many accounts like that and say so much money, agricultural income, and bring it in. This is one method of tax planning also. Although agricultural income has one type of tax planning. Many people, many clients, when they will come with half-baked knowledge. Okay, little knowledge is a dangerous thing, right? Little knowledge is a very dangerous thing. When this little knowledge, they'll come and say, Mr. Shrikant, can we not use agricultural income? So I'll ask him, definitely we can use agricultural income for money laundering or for tax planning. I just ask you one question. Do you have agricultural land? No, I don't have. Then how can I? If you own agricultural land, maybe we can show some amount as agricultural income and say that it was earned. Even then there's a reasonableness. Yeah, see, if you got about 10 acres, okay, we will want to know where you had that 10 acres, which part of the country. So most of the time, we will know now whether that part of the country you can grow. So usually in India, we can have 2 crops, one summer and one winter, Kharif and everything. But beyond that, if you have one more crop, if you're saying, how did you get one more crop? And how much did you sell it for? Agreed, you sold it to wholesale merchants. And in that agricultural business, you cannot get cash. I mean, you cannot pay in, you won't get a bank transaction. So you got cash and you deposited that cash in the bank. See, you have to make that story believable, Baba. You can't simply push 1.5 crores into the system and say everything is agricultural income. So they will ask, how much land have you got? Must be acres and acres. Where is it? Show me the proof. That's where the problem starts. So once I see what happened, this gentleman or lady would have read some blog by some very learned chartered accountant who would have written agricultural income as tax planning method. So he would have written all sorts of nonsense. He would have written case laws would have been quoted where Supreme Court would have held that it is agricultural income, therefore no tax, blah, blah. So this fellow half-bakedly, he would have read it and thought, oh, agricultural income can be used for tax planning. That's all. How it is used, you won't know. Simply come to us and say, please use agricultural. Sir, sometimes very difficult. Anyway, so I hope now you understood it, how agricultural income or produce can be used for tax planning. So there is no sale of agricultural produce. You are saying it has been sold. Somewhere in tax planning, there is an element of lying, telling lies. Okay. You cannot be a good tax planner and tell truth. Somewhere you will tell a lie. Okay. That is what you have to be clear about. That is where, are you willing to do that is what you have to do. Stages in money laundering. It's a very interesting area where you have first level is placement. Illegal funds or assets are brought into the financial system. Let us take, for example, IPO route. How do I bring illegal funds? First, I open multiple accounts. Lord or other, I identify people. About 2,000 guys I identify who are all below the tax limit. And I tell them, open bank accounts. They have opened. Now, I deposit cash in all these accounts. Then I transfer from these accounts into collecting accounts, maybe about 100 of them. Right? And then they have KYC, everything, pakka. Then these 100 people or 200 people or 500 people will open DP account. That DP account will have KYC, everything, pakka. Then this money would have been transferred by bank, This money, the first money was deposited in cash. Thereafter, the transfer happened through bank. So the cashment account will get through bank. Pakka through bank. We might even pay tax on it. Right? How? 44 AD, presumptive tax. Say that this is money coming for sale of goods. 8% straight. Pay tax on it. Presumptively. No books, nothing. No explanation needed. How much you can bring? Up to 2 crores. Provided you show 8%. Some cost. That's why I said there is an element of cost. Bring it in. Somehow you bring it in, boss. Once it comes in, open DP account. Then have KYC, everything pakka, everything is pakka. Now you have disguised the origin. From now on, you do whatever you want. Yeah. If you want to do locally, then this money is used to apply for the IPO. Shares are allotted. The money goes into the guy. Whose money? The MD's money. The MD of this company has got untaxed or illegal money. That is routed through the system like this. One circle, it comes back through the IPO into his company as legitimate share capital, which he then uses to develop his business, whatever. I've given you one simple example of money laundering. Very simple example of money laundering, right? It's a fairly simple circling. Okay. Now, it can become more and more complicated depending on the need. So, ultimately, you are disguising, right? Still, there is a weak link here. What is that? You've got about 500 shareholders who are a danger, because now, obviously, what you will do now, you will be controlling those DP accounts. But today, with KYC norms and all, you can't. Each fellow should have a password. Each fellow should have an account. That password should be controlled by you. You will only be operating those accounts. There will be one bank account where you will have control over the bank account, because all money will go into that bank account only, right? All this will be there. So there should be, which means that is where, there are some of our fellow professionals, chartered accountants, who are experts in doing this type of nonsense, opening accounts, keeping track. What type of job it is, I don't know, but they are so happy. They think they are doing a great service to humanity by doing money laundering, maintaining multiple accounts, keeping track, all that. Okay. Anyway, integration. Finally, these funds are made available as apparently legitimate. So, three-step process. You have taken cash, criminal proceeds of crime, routed it through the system, layered it, and integrated it into the legitimate financial system. Congratulations, you have learned how to do money laundering. Okay, forget it immediately. Don't even go there. So, effacement refers to the physical disposal. This is the first step. I already explained to you. Is remove the cash from the location of acquisition so as to avoid detection from the authorities. This is achieved by investing criminal money into the legal financial system by opening a bank account in the name of unknown individuals or organizations and depositing the money in that account. It may involve use of smurfing techniques through which launderers make numerous deposits of amounts of money that are small enough to avoid raising suspicion. That's all. So, numerous is the operative word. Numerous, huge. The number should be very high. Layering is the movement of funds from institution to institution to hide their origin. So, you don't keep it in one account. One account gets it in cash. Now, you have to take it out and route it. Ideally, you should distance it by, say, two transfers. So that the third layer only comes here as, funds into the market. Then from the market, it goes in as 100% legitimate income, money into the hands of the, which is why if you are very smart, I hope you will not be smart in that way. When you deposit this cash now at the placement level, you pay some tax. You pay some tax. That is where your two beautiful sections are there, 44 AD and 44 ADA. So the limits there are 2 crores and 50 lakhs. So you can try to get out of it by paying some tax and doing it. Sorry, the idea is not to tell you how to do it, but yeah. Anyway, good. Hope this lecture is useful to you. Hope not. Anyway, any quick comments? Because sometimes, when I keep talking to the screen, I feel a little worried whether there are any human brains even at all listening to what I'm saying. So, any doubts? There are many methods. I only give one example of IPO route, stock market route. There are many methods. Agricultural income is one route, multiple route. Somewhere you have to do one of these. Place it, layer it, integrate it. Sometimes you can do this placement and layering, and then you can send it out through LRS and then bring it back again. See, when the banker will keep asking question, suppose consistently you're doing it, you're opening accounts and all, the banker will get suspicious. So that is where the banker is instructed under FEMA itself to ask you. He is the authorized dealer. So he is supposed to ask you then and there, what is happening here? Why are you opening multiple accounts, using LRS, transferring it to one Singapore account? Again, you have to open. See, for all these 100, 200 donkeys, you have to open Singapore bank account. And from your Indian bank account, they have to transfer to Singapore bank account. From Singapore bank account, it will be collected and transferred to, say, a Singapore company. That Singapore company will get it, and that will again transfer it to Cayman Island. Cayman Island to London. London back to India. Another route. Longer route. Covering up. Okay. More funds can go. Huge funds go in and come out. You can take it. So this is how it is done. So placement, the dirty money integrates into the financial system. Then layering, transferring from bank account to bank account. Sometimes it goes to an offshore bank also. Then finally it comes in by way of loan or whatever. And then it gets into the... So what happens is, once you get that money into the system, you use it to purchase luxury assets. In many cases, they may not even buy such assets. They might only use it to... See, they will get it in the form of an investment into the company. Then once it comes into that bogus company, then that money will be spent for funding their assets and all that. That's how it is. Anyway. Thank you. Okay. That's a good joke. Very, very useful. Yeah. See, sometimes as a genuine chartered accountant, you might be caught in the periphery of this. Then you should know what it is. Maybe your client himself may not be aware of the consequences. You can advise them and say, don't go there, Baba, it's not good. There's nothing wrong in knowing it. Better not be innocent. Better be aware. Okay, so here we go. Punishment, section 4. Okay. Basically, it's prevention of money laundering, right? So offense of money laundering, normal 3 years and fine. Maximum 7 years and fine. Where the proceeds of crime involved in money laundering relates to paragraph 2 of Part A. Part A. Offenses under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. Okay. I told you, drugs. Then the minimum penalty is 3, but maximum is 10. Okay. Narcotics slightly more serious. So this is one important section. 3, 7, 3, 10. Paragraph 2 of Part A. So Mr. Honest, a notorious. See, his name is Honest, but he is notorious. Notorious means bad. See, famous means good. Well known in a good way is famous. Well known in a bad way is notorious. Well known in a good way is famous. Am I correct? Well known in a bad way is notorious. See, there are a lot of people who are well known, but in a bad way. For example, Fulan Devi, she's notorious. She was a rebel queen. She was, of course, today there are some people who idolize her, but basically she's notorious. Okay, like that, there are a lot of people who are bad, famous in a bad way. This man was not. See, notorious means fellow is known bad fellow. Known bad fellow. Notorious fellow means known bad fellow. Everybody knows he's bad. No shame. He goes freely knowing that everybody knows that he is bad. Okay. So this notorious was caught in possession of counterfeit currency notes. An offense specified under paragraph 1. See, they clearly mention paragraph 1. Okay. Whereas paragraph 2 of Part A is dangerous. So this is paragraph 1 of the schedule. Okay. Now state the punishment that can be awarded to him under the Act. Also identify the punishment for the offense under Part A, paragraph 2. So be careful. That's simple. This question is nothing, answer is nothing but this slide. So sometimes, while you are talking about illegal activity, cheating and all that, another thing that I have never done in my life is copy. Also, I have never allowed anybody to copy. I have never copied. Never. Not because it was not tempting, but because it is shameful. Suppose I copy and I get high marks. Can I live with myself? My conscience will kill me now. I have got All India 4 times rank, CA and ACs, CA intermediate, ACs intermediate, CA final, ACs. All India rank, 27, 38, 4, 10. Now, suppose I had even copied once. Can I talk with pride like this? Even if you don't know it, even if the world doesn't know it, I feel ashamed. Self-worth will be gone. That is why I never copy. I never copy, even if I'm tempted. I was never tempted, believe me. By the same token, I will not allow to copy also. Because when I see, this is a different thing. Why not, Mr. Srikanth, you are actually an intelligent man. Why not allow somebody else to copy? After all, he is only going to see your... But then that means I'm making the system bad. If a system is weak and somebody can copy and get through, then everybody is affected. If even one of us does not preserve that high standard, the disgrace will come upon all of us. That is why we should not allow. Neither allow nor copy. It's illegal. Don't do it. Why am I making this elaborate point? To help you understand, that. But in spite of that, I tell you, taking bit is another famous method of cheating in the exams. Bit. What is a bit? You write down important points in small bits of paper, and then you fold it and keep it everywhere in your body and go. And in the exam hall, you open it, read and write the answer. It's almost like open book exam. I am not supporting that also. Equally bad. Copying is bad. Bitting is also bad. And criminal offense, don't even try it. Don't even think of it. Okay. Criminal offense. Your student life, your black mark will start with your student life. Never even think. I'm sure none of you is even thinking. But on bit, I have a different view. Sometimes I say I will appreciate the man who is able to prepare the bit, because what he is doing, he is reading the subject, he is identifying the important topics, except his memory is bad. He is not able to remember. So he is writing it in paper and taking it inside. Suppose his memory is good, what he will do? All he will do is remember this slide. Bit. This is the bit. But I have taken bit like this to the exam hall. Now you are all getting worried. Hey, this guy is so ethical. He's saying I took bit, but not in paper, but in my mind. All the bits were in my mind. I memorized the important topics. So whenever I need it, the bit will come to my mind and I will write it. That way, if you study now, the topic will stay in your mind. Important points you read and you remember it. So this is one important bit. In fact, I also create what is known as cue cards. See, this what I'm showing you now is a cue card, small card, wherein, I will write important parts and I'll keep it in my hand. So when I'm going in the bus or when I'm traveling in public transport or when I'm sitting somewhere doing nothing, I will revise my bit, my notes. So this will go here and I'll be able to remember. This is a technique you can try. My humble suggestion to you. Nowadays, you don't have to take physical paper also. You can use your own mobile phone. You can convert my PowerPoint into PDF and then skip through it and things like that. Okay. Think about it. So that is why man who writes bit, at least he is capable. Yeah. At least he knows what is important in the exam. That much he has studied. Okay. Hopefully that he has not taken it from somebody. Even then you should know, for this question, which bit to refer you should know. That is a great thing according to me. Okay. As compared to a pathetic creature who is copying. Okay. I'm sorry. Today's lecture seems to be getting into all sorts of ethics and things like that. Anyway, this is the way, I teach. Many of you by now would be used to my way of teaching. So can we suggest our clients to file a police complaint against those? My dear Sumitji, don't even do that. Continue with your life. Okay, don't bother about all that. There is another extreme end. See, the Buddha is advising middle path. So you don't bother. You just avoid and run. Why are you there? Boss, you want to run your business and be successful. Okay, this is my humble suggestion. This may sound a little cowardly, but I strongly suggest that you should take the middle path. Don't go to those areas. Why are you linking with such people, giving complaint and things like that? That's not. Just do like this and move away from that. Okay, my suggestion. The temple elephant. The temple elephant in South India, every temple will have an elephant. So it is a very, very holy creature where the idol of the god will be placed on that elephant and taken in procession. So the temple elephant is a very pure animal. So one day it went to the temple tank. It took a bath, holy bath. It applied chandan and all, and it's coming back to the temple. On the way, a pig is coming. One pig is walking in the road. It's a narrow road, very, very narrow bridge. Only one person can come. So the pig tells the elephant, don't come. I want to come. Set aside, stand aside. So immediately what the elephant does, it goes to the little bit to the corner, allows the pig to go, and it moves on to the temple. So the people around that elephant, they were asking, you are an elephant. You can easily stamp that pig. 1 minute you can stamp it, kill that fellow. Why are you avoiding that fellow? The elephant said, look here, I have taken a bath. My purpose is to go to the temple and worship. Okay, this fellow is unclean. Suppose I even stamp him, I will touch him. I have to go to the bath again. My work will be delayed. So better I go on with my life. Avoid these pigs. My life will go on with the thing. This is another way of approaching. Okay, this is the point. This is my view. May not be agreeable to you, Sumit, but humble suggestion. Take the middle path. Stay away from such things. Run with your life. Common people buying from shop and shop offers discount, they don't demand invoice. Usually no GST bill is made. That's why in that case, who is under guilt? Is the unknowledgeable common man? No. Boss, if you are not paying GST, you are wantedly reducing your thing. You have to pay in cash. See, today, if you want to, I'll tell you. This is a good question. How money laundering is caught there, I'll tell you. Today, no retailer is willing to sell without GST. First, you understand that. Today, that no GST. So many times, what these guys do, the price they quote is inclusive of GST. They give you a genuine discount, but you think that you are not paying GST. Seriously, because many times, the retailer asks me, Srikanth, these guys are coming and saying no GST, what to do? Okay, you satisfy them, sir. You say no GST. You give a rate that is without GST. Don't even give bill to them. They are happy because they are not getting a bill. They are happy. They think without bill means no GST. Actually, bill will be printed. See, if the total transaction is, for example, 100 rupees plus 118, we'll give it 96. Okay, no problem. Or we'll give it 100 without GST. Fellow is happy. So my price will be 96 plus GST or whatever it is. Recalculation. That's all. My computer will calculate it. We will calculate the correct GST and we'll pay it. Customer goes home thinking that he has saved a GST. What he got was a genuine discount. My point is, that's why I told him, give him a discount here, but tell him very clearly, GST compulsory. Make it a habit to pay GST. Paying GST is a very, very important patriotic duty. If you don't pay GST, one more thing, how much you will save, Baba? Tell me, nothing. Believe me when I say that. But still customers want to. Today, no retailer is capable. Why? Because suppose he has unaccounted sales, he has to launder it. Why should he launder your black money? See, even retailers are not bucked because you people keep on pushing your black money into the system, cash into the system. That fellow has to take all that cash. Then we have to devise schemes to bring that money into the books and all. Or else keep it in cash and get caught in such. So we don't do it. Every pie is bought, GST tallied. Nothing is sold for cash or nothing is sold without booking. If a customer thinks he is not paying GST, great. All he is getting is a genuine discount, which he would have got anyway. Ultimately, the amount paid by him, including GST, is almost the amount he would have paid. Not much great benefit you would have got. That 96, that discount you would have got anyway, instead of asking for no GST. So many retailers you will find, they will say, okay, no GST, go. No bill, cash. They'll take the cash because up to 2 lakhs, he can take cash. 1,99,000, he can take cash. Without PAN, nothing. So the real problem is in the jewelry business, which is again very closely linked to PMLA. Because if genuinely you want to push your black money into the system by buying things, where you will push it? Gold. Because gold is a precious metal, value keeps going up. So you go to a gold shop and you tell him, give me gold. How much? 6 lakhs. Sir, please give me card, check. No check, card or swipe a card or give me a check. Let the check be cleared and deliver the goods to your house. Till then, I'll give you a token. That's all. So this is how retailing is done. Believe me, it's no longer possible. Today, jewelers are in trouble because it is today, every item of jewelry has a hallmark. If you sell non-hallmark jewelry in the shop, that is just an offense. So they can't just, you see, so as you rightly say, you are using unknowledgeable common man. Sir, highly knowledgeable common man is making my retailer guilty. Please understand the reverse. It's a pathetic situation where no retailer wants to avoid tax. Seriously. And how much tax they will avoid by that? Yeah. Whereas they want to grow. From 100 crore turnover, they want to go to 500 crore. They don't mind paying tax. Hey, 25% tax, Baba, nothing. And we will pay that. And we will pay the GST also to the government. It is the so-called unknowledgeable customer, innocent customer. Huh? He is only pushing the system. Please understand. I know I'm a little bit accusing the common man, but the minute a common man goes to the shop and says, I won't pay GST, he is not a common man. He's uncommon criminal. He should not do that. He should pay the GST and go. Okay? See, the system can handle only so much. Beyond that, if you try to push no, the retailer will say no. There are many retailers who do this. See, that is where they get into trouble. They take cash, they deal in cash, then they later on get into trouble. Many times, this is the complaint that I get from retailers. They say, Mr. Srikanth, you want us to be honest. How I can be honest? My customer is dishonest. Now you see, Boni, how the whole situation is different. Your so-called unknowledgeable common man is guilty of a very serious offense of forcing a retailer to take cash and avoid GST. And again, I'm repeating it for the ad nauseum. I'm telling you, nobody is cheating on GST because that is very difficult. Because stock is there. Yeah, I'm using ERP to track my stock. I'm using card swiper to read barcoding. Everything is controlled. If I see, I'm in the large retailers, we cannot afford it. A minimum 100 crore turnover, that fellow cannot afford to cheat. He has to sell genuinely. So if a customer walks in, wants to pay cash, he is embarrassing the retailer. Up to 2 lakhs he can handle, yeah, without taking your PAN number. Beyond 2 lakhs, he can't take cash. It's a penalty. Up to 2 lakhs, he will take identity. Above 1 lakh, generally, I advise take identity proof. So tomorrow, what happens now? If a person keeps on buying more than 1 lakh, 2 lakhs from the same retailer for cash, that we will be seeing that in this law only. Their names will be given to the money laundering authorities. And from there, it will go to the income tax department, who will then send a notice to our friend asking, where is the source for buying this? Like that. So seriously, it's not worth bending this system. Okay, kindly don't think. So I hope your question was and generally shops do not offer a discount if you don't demand invoice. Okay, you might ask me whether how do I know this? Because from my own professional experience telling you, I got so many high-end retailers. As I told you, 1,000 crore, 500 crore, like that, 200 crore, 300 crore. In that range, of course, there are a lot of chota fellows. Don't even bother about the chota, because the chota fellow will always be a chota fellow. Finally, he'll get caught with the department, fold, and he'll run away. Small hole in the box jewelers, small operators, dealing in cash, a little bit white, little bit black. Finally, leading a miserable life, no growth. So, if you want to grow, be genuine, is the secret that many of my clients have learned, and they are growing. And a growing client pays you more. This is the secret. Again and again, I'm revealing the secret of success to all of you. Okay. Whereas a dishonest client will ultimately die. Means commercially, they will fold. Their life will be maximum 10 years. Then they will get caught in so much compliance issues that every day they'll be firefighting with the departments rather than running their business. They'll go mad. This is an experiential knowledge I'm sharing with you. I know you are all, some of you might be a little bit angry with me for even telling this, because you may be thinking that, there is a system. Some parts of North India, there are communities, where cash is circulating. But even there, they are under serious threat. Only so much cash can be circulated that way. Okay. And that is where I would ask you to examine your conscience. Is what you're doing legal? Is it good? Is it ethics? Is it what our philosophy is telling us to do? Okay. Then how can we with conscience go to the temple and pray when in the shop we are doing all this nonsense? I know I sound a little didactic and a little even thing, but that's how it is. Man talking to you is 57 years old. Life is lived and being lived decently. Okay, with wealth. I'm not poor. By no stretch, I'm poor. But maybe I'm not so rich that I own 15 cars. I own no, I'm not. No regrets. The happiness that I get is much more valuable than physical assets. Okay. Mr. Dawood Musa. Name 2 names, famous names, notorious names. Dawood Ibrahim and Haji Musa. Both were smugglers. 2 smugglers' names are combined in the single name. Dawood Musa, a known smuggler. But see, known smuggler was caught in transfer of funds illegally exporting narcotic drugs from India to some countries in Africa. State the maximum punishment that can be awarded to him. See, again, a question circling around 4 years. So, one thing I'm able to understand with all my bullshit about being honest against, which I'm sure you are, I hope not ignoring, but already started ignoring. But the bottom line from exam point of view, 4 is important, 4 is important, 4 is important. Okay. Don't do that. I'm sure good students like you will not, do that. I'm sure. Okay. Now, we move on to, shall we say, the executory side of the law. What we saw was the conceptual side. What is money laundering? What is the punishment for money laundering? Now, we move on to the executants. What happens to, suppose somebody is caught with the stuff. How do I catch them? How do I punish them? How do I, what do I do? Is the thing. Okay. First thing is attachment. Attachment means prohibition of transfer, conversion, disposition, or movement of property by an order issued under Chapter 3. At the time of attachment, the property in the goods is not transferred. Only the goods or the property or the immovable property cannot be dealt with. The owner cannot sell it or convert it or even give it as settlement. Till such time the matter is decided, the property will be locked. Attachment means legal lock. It could be any method. For example, if it is an immovable property, the authorities will write to the, the PMLA is administered by the same ED, Enforcement Directorate. Same guys who are involved in foreign FEMA only, they'll do this also. So they will write a letter to the sub-registrar having jurisdiction over that land. And they will say, the case is pending, an inquiry is pending against this man, in the owner of this property or against this property. Till such time we ask you to do so, do not allow transfer. That is called attachment. This will be a government letter. For formal letter will go to the sub-registrar. Once the sub-registrar gets it, immediately he has to make a note in that register against that property. Attachment order number so-and-so received, a property cannot be sold till such time. And that attachment order also will be kept with that. So that if anybody wants to buy that property and they go to the sub-registrar, they will want to have, it's a public document. Now, this register maintained by the sub-registrar is a public document. Anybody can go and get information. Any property, it's now online. Most states, this data is online. But for that, you need to know the survey number of that property. You should know the exact plot number, survey number of that property, taluk, district, jurisdiction. Then you go to the appropriate sub-registrar. You give an application form. Okay, it is called EC. Okay, where you only find out whether encumbrance is there. It is all encumbrance certificate. If somebody is going to buy a property, first thing you should do is get an EC for that property. See, ideally you should have an EC for 30 years, minimum 13 years. Whether the owner has been in quiet possession for 3 years, minimum 30 years best. It's not going to cost you much. Go 30 years, see the history of the property. If the same holder name comes for 30 years, then to my knowledge, the property is generally good property. But if this attachment is there, what will happen? First line itself, you'll get the attachment notice only. Then only, that will be the last. Then you'll keep going back. So you'll see attachment. Oh, attached property. Be careful. So you'll come back to this guy and ask, hey, what, Baba? You are saying you are selling, it is attached. So this means you cannot sell. Okay. He is having a bank account. So the authority will write to the bank and say, please do not allow any operation in the account like that. Attachment is a facility available to all government departments to collect. So for the PMLA also, they'll hold it in attachment. But what you should understand is, at the time of attachment, ownership is not transferred. But further dealing is not possible. The property is locked. If it is securities or shares, they will write to the depository, concerned depository, who will be clearly instructed. Immediately in the electronic record, the depository will make a note attached. Or so no sale. If those shares are attempted to be sold by the broker or by the owner, message will flash. Please consult or not possible. Don't, please, attachment order available or whatever. They may not even reveal that. They will say not possible to sell. Like that they will say. Why they won't even reveal that? Somebody else may try to get. So privacy of information. So they won't inform at all. And they will say attachment straight away. Don't go there. You can't sell. Once it's attached, you cannot. Okay. Why do we attach? To protect the property. See, according to us, it is a proceeds of crime. Directly or indirectly, proceeds of crime is invested there. So that money, ultimately, we have to take it. But till such time we decide whether there is in PM, whether there's a money laundering, what is the nature, etc., we want to keep it safe. For that, attachment. So section 5 talks about provisional attachment. So the director or other officer not below the rank of deputy director has reason to believe, and that reason for such belief to be recorded in writing on the basis of material in his possession. Very important. Go back to my point regarding executive. When we are talking about NCLT in the last class, I said, judiciary, executive. The director or the deputy director is executive. The central government, in all its power, paraphernalia, with all its weapons, with all its power, it is coming there now. He has to be very, very careful. He can't casually attach properties. The power has to be. So in the order sheet, he has to clearly give the reason. It should be recorded in writing and he has to sign it. And he has to say that material in his possession. How? It could be a sworn statement given by a person. It could be a whistleblower. Some information. Okay, he has to verify the genuineness of that information. But once he has something in writing, for example, if an employee or an associate in the business is giving a sworn statement, okay, anonymously, but with his name and all, but it won't be revealed, then that can be taken as material in possession. Or some other source of information is there. For example, somewhere the transfer has happened to this guy, or with regard to this property, they are having a doubt from some other source. The source is not clear. They can call for source. Where is the source? They can ask. So they have formed the opinion. They believe that a person is in possession of any proceeds of crime, and such proceeds of crime are likely to be concealed, transferred, or dealt with in any manner which may result in frustrating any proceedings relating to confiscation. Once you attach it, then you have to confiscate it. So, first step is to attach. So, such director, any other officer may, by order in writing, provisionally attach such property. Provisional means temporarily. Provisional means temporary, not permanent. That is why the attachment will be operating for a period of not exceeding 180 days, 180 days from the date of the order, in such manner as may be prescribed. Right? Remember, possession is crucial ingredient in attachment. If the proceeds of crime are not in the possession of the person, then attachment is not possible. I gave you examples of land. I gave you example of share. I gave you example of other things. How about movables? Especially gold, forex, drugs. These are all property. You remember definition of property? I'm not going there. Later you go and see property. Now, ideally, I'm telling you now, the guy is coming in through the airport. Suitcase contains concealed layer. In that layer, he is having gold bar. Caught in possession. Straight away you order. But you cannot say, we are suspecting that you have, and we will attach it. You can attach something that is not in the possession of the person at that time. If it is not in possession, you cannot. Which is a very, very crucial ingredient in criminal proceedings. The lawyer will simply argue My client was not in possession. How can you attach when it is? It's not with him. Where is it? Okay, or you would have passed on. See, he'll say he had it. Right now, when you arrested, did he have? No, that is it, like that. So possession is very important for movables especially, right? It is very important. See, that is why, when you're trying to shift forex out of India or currency out of India, customs people have a lot of power because at that time they can catch you in possession gone. Too much power. Now, for computing 180 days, exclude period during which the proceedings are stayed by a high court. Add a further not exceeding period not exceeding 30 days from the date of order of vacation of such stay. So, the attachment will be for 180 days. But in the meantime, if somebody has gone and got the proceeding stayed, then that will be excluded, okay, for 180 days. And you add a further period of not exceeding 30 days from the date of vacation of such stay. See what happens, attachment order is given. Immediately you hire a good lawyer. Lawyer goes to High Court, gets a stay. That's all. Now, the provisional attachment cannot operate when there is a stay. For computing 180 days, you have to exclude that, okay, during the period when the proceedings are stayed. Again, the government will go and get that stay vacated. From that period, you add another 30 days. So, total period should not be more than 180. So, what happens? They will obtain a stay, then they'll wait, then they'll say, sir, 180 days over, sir, please release it. So, in the meantime, he has to go get it vacated. And then another 30 days, then total 180 days. So, it's a continuous game. So, you have stayed it. I've got the proceeding stayed. Okay, you have attached it. Now, 180 days only you can attach. Proceedings are stayed. Then, so give it back to me. A report has been forwarded to a magistrate under section 173 of the CRPC. A complaint has been filed by a person authorized to investigate the offence mentioned in that schedule before a magistrate or court for taking cognizance of the scheduled offence as the case may be, or a similar report or complaint has been made. So, a report of this whole thing should be forwarded to a magistrate, one. Or complaint has been filed by a person authorized to investigate the offence before a magistrate. Or a similar report or complaint has been made or filed under the corresponding law of any other country. Whatever it is, if such a report has been filed, then you can go for attachment, is the point. If the director or any other officer not below the rank of deputy director has reason to believe, and that should be again recorded in writing on the basis of material in his possession. Do you see the common words here? Reason to believe. That belief should be recorded in writing. It should be on the basis of material in his possession. Some information, some documentary evidence. That if such property involved in money laundering is not attached immediately, the non-attachment of the property is likely to frustrate any proceeding under this act. Okay. Then he will post attachment. A copy of the attachment order shall be forwarded to the adjudicating authority by the director. The director and either officer who see the adjudicating officer is different from the investigating officer. So the investigating officer is in the thick of thin. He knows what is happening. So he attaches. Then he has to forward the order, attachment order to the adjudicating authority. And the director and either officer who provisionally attaches shall within a period of 30 days file a complaint stating the facts of such attachment before the adjudicating authority. So, you see, all this happens quickly. Customs catch him, immediately PMLA comes in, attachment is done, then within 30 days you have to go for a complaint before the adjudicating authority. Okay. If already some criminal action has been taken, then you have a better chance. But if no criminal action has been taken, then if you are provisionally attaching it, then you have to file a complaint before the adjudicating authority. Okay. Now, this section shall not prevent the person interested in the enjoyment of the immovable property attached from such enjoyment. Person interested in relation to any immovable property includes all persons claiming or entitled to claim any interest in the property. Friends, if you have not learned it before, let me now tell you. There are many types of interest in a property. Interest means title. Now, there is something called absolute interest, which is owner. owner has absolute interest, absolute title. But a lessee, someone who has taken the property on rent, has an interest in the property, which is not absolute, but it is definitely an interest in the property to the extent his enjoyment is affected. So, which means the tenant can continue to enjoy the property even though it is attached. Okay, his enjoyment cannot be prevented. But what will happen? He will also be joined as one of the parties, and he will be going regularly to court. In fact, in this whole story, the tenant will be enjoying because he will then fix the rent based on the Rental Act and deposit in the court and go. That is the end of story for him. Mr. B purchased a flat out of the proceeds earned by drug trafficking. The flat was attached by the director of enforcement. After complying, I told you, the body who is responsible for this is your good old enforcement directorate. Same guys who handle FEMA also. Mr. B purchased a flat out of the proceeds earned by drug trafficking. Wonderful. The flat was attached by the director of enforcement after complying the procedures under Section 5. Mr. B got a stay from the High Court for any proceedings under the said Act. The stay was subsequently vacated. State the provisions of PMLA for computing the period of provisional attachment, including extension, if any. So this is the answer. Okay, sorry, that was it. Yeah, this is the answer. Okay. If they are given you dates, you might have to actually compute it. But luckily, they have not given you dates there. This is an example of a pure, it's a theory question asked as a problem. All this B, blah, 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 and all is only for giving some structure to the question. Basically, this is a theory question. The answer is a theory answer based on Section 5, this part. Okay. If you write it, you will get out of 6, you will get easily 5. Also, whether C, son of B, can occupy the flat. Yeah, if he is in possession, yes, he can. Okay, the answer is here. Right. So, my suggestion, you write all this completely. 6 marks now. So write about 10 lines. 8 marks. Okay, so adjudication. So who are the authorities under this section? The following classes of authorities for the purpose of this act, namely director, additional director or joint director, deputy director, assistant director. Same hierarchy in FEMA also. You remember adjudicating officer, assistant director, deputy director, director. Same. Okay. Such other classes of officers as may be appointed for the purpose of this act. Friends, suppose some client of yours whom you thought was honest, like me, you also followed honesty policy. They decided to, but somehow without your knowledge, they have got into trouble. Now they come to you and say, sir, help us. Somehow you advise us what to do. First thing, get them to a good lawyer. Have a panel of advocates, friends, friendly advocates. Have a good network with them. And so that anytime you're able to call a good advocate who will be immediately rushing, or his junior will go and get a stay. Straight away. This is something that you should be prepared for. Even though you might say everything, something may happen. Even a false case may be, the planted case may be there. Whatever it is, first thing, be prepared. Have a good panel of advocates. See, I'm now advising those of you who want to practice. Even those of you who want to be in service, remember to have a good network of lawyers, company secretaries, okay, to whom you could immediately call up and get information, support, anything. So it is always good to have that source, right? That helps you, because today, in our profession, knowledge is power. How quickly can you advise a client and get him, or your own company? More so when you're in practice, okay? Have trustworthy lawyers. I mean, this is very oxymoronic, but try. Who is a trustworthy lawyer in my books, who does what I want? When I go to him with a clear-cut request, get me a stay, he gets it. He knows how to do it. That is all. Beyond that, expecting anything from lawyers is not a good idea. But go to him and say, sir, this is what it is, what it is. I want to stay. Get it. Then go on. He'll go on. So that type of link should be there. This is again a suggestion. Develop it over a period of time. See, which is why, if as a student or as a chartered accountant, you are always thinking intellectual, reading every day, all the books, completely swallowing Ind AS, income tax, FEMA, everything knowledge I have. Sorry, you should also have a network of people with whom you can just call up and talk and get things going. That is also needed. That is also part of the curriculum, whether you like it or not. Okay, being knowledgeable, yes, but networking also. It's a dual role. Okay, so highly knowledgeable, wearing very thick glasses and lot of brain. I appreciate you, but networking is also important. Okay, we move on to section 8. Again, a very important section, adjudication. So what is the process? First, complaint under section 5 in respect of provisional attachment. Do you remember? Make a complaint within 30 days to the adjudicating officer, right? Then application under section 17(4) and 18(10) in respect of seized property. Seized property, seizure is slightly different from attachment. Proceedings have started, you are aware that there is a property, you attach it. Seizure is in possession. We caught him in possession, seized it straight away. He opened the suitcase, narcotics, straight away arrest him, detain him, seize it. That's all. Right? Ask him to sign. Ask him only one question. Where did you get this? I don't know. How much did you pay for it? I don't know. Where did you get the money to pay for it? I don't know. Then we are now seizing the property. Do you have any objection? What you can say? Keep quiet. Sign on the paper form. Value it and say so much kilos of pure cocaine. Market valuing so much roughly. Ask him to give. I am now handing over to the officer and sign. That's all. Keep it. Now you go, sir. Go to the jail. We're waiting for us. We come and talk to you. 48 hours detention possible under coffee posa. If he's still keeping quiet, his lawyer will come, take him on bail and go. That is not my problem. Then the case will go on. Okay, that is different. Case will go on, and he'll come and go every month. Go to police station and sign every week. Hey, that fellow is used to it. Yeah, he's a criminal. So now either route it comes. If the adjudicating authority has reason to believe that any person has committed an offense under section 3 or is in possession of proceeds of crime, it may serve a notice of not less than 30 days on such person, calling upon him to indicate the following: the sources of his income, earning or assets, out of which or by means of which he has acquired the property attached under section 5(1) or seized or frozen under section 17 or section 18. The evidence on which he relies and other relevant information and particulars. And to show cause why all or any of such properties should not be declared to be the properties involved in money laundering and confiscated by the central government. Once property is confiscated, that's it. It gets transferred to the government. That's all. Beneficial owner is entitled to notice from AA in respect of properties held in the name of a Benami. Suppose finally the Benami says, sir, I want peace of mind, sir. I will tell the truth, sir. This is not my property, sir. Oh, whose property is this? Sir, don't tell anybody, sir. This is the property of so-and-so. Baba, sorry, if you want to let you go, then you have to give us own statement. Minimum, I will reduce your fine or I will reduce your term of imprisonment. But give me a name. And that too in writing. Put it in writing, so-on statement. Under the so-on statement, you say, I was asked to in the name, my name. I am not having any source. But it belongs to so-and-so. Give the name. That's it. Now the angle of attack will move to the owner, the beneficial owner. He will be given a notice. Okay. Also, if the property is held in more than one name, joint holders also will be entailed. Okay. Beneficial owner also will be given an opportunity of being heard to prove that the property is not involved in money laundering. See, these are all questions of fact. How he will prove it and all. Maybe it's a genuine case where there was no money laundering. Can't say. Okay. So he will be given an opportunity of being heard. See, the minute it is held in somebody else's name, question is, why are you doing it? Why are you not having it in your own name? Like that. There are 1 or 2 genuine cases where they will say, sir, this is how it happened in my family. This is what happened. He had to hold it, but it belongs to the family, blah, blah, blah. Something he will say. Whatever he say, we'll all record it. Finally, adjudication. The adjudicating authority shall, considering the reply, hearing the aggrieved person, all of the people, okay, or any other officer authorized by him, taking into account all relevant materials, shall by an order record a finding, whether all or any of the properties referred to in the notice issued are involved in money laundering. Okay. See, it is this thin gray area where a lot of members of the institute will be playing around here, trying to create source, showing some source for the property, bogus, trying to do some nonsense there again with the department, trying to make them, convince them within courts. I think that's a very, very thin gray area where some people operate. Not a great thing to do in your life. Okay, please. This whole class is becoming a upadesha, hitopadesha for all of you. Not to do, not to do, not to do. Yeah, because you have to keep on reinforcing this ethics. Otherwise, again, the demon in us will play. It will start dancing and it will start showing you the wrong route. See how beautiful that is. Go there. Everything is good. Don't listen to this donkey Srikanth. He doesn't know anything. Buddha ho gaya. What does he know about life? Enjoy life. Like that, the demon will start dancing and it will again start pulling you in the wrong direction. Adjudication means passing an order. Okay. Adjudication means finally deciding. When the judge passes an order, it is adjudication. When the judge passes an order. When the adjudicating officer or adjudicating authority passes a final order confiscating the property, that is called adjudication. That is, they will finally decide by an order. This is adjudicating. They will record a finding. They will say, we have heard everything. All that is recorded. This fellow has told that was told. Finally, we have examined and we find that these statements are not supported by evidence. The evidence is not correct. Subsequently, so-and-so was interviewed. He says, I have not lent that money. So that is ignored. So he says the source is from a loan given by X. X was interviewed. X is not willing to confirm. X is saying, I am not aware. Or X was called for hearing. X has not come, has not produced any proof of the loan, nor has he confirmed it. Therefore, the presumption is that the loan is not true. The entry is bogus entry. Therefore, the property is bought out of proceeds of crime. And finally, once this finding is given, then the attachment, retention, or freezing will continue during the investigation for a period not exceeding 365 days. Once the finding is given. And once the final order is passed, the order for confiscation is passed. That is adjudication. Okay. When an order of confiscation is passed by the special court, that is the adjudication. With that, the property goes to the... So adjudication means final decision for confiscation of the property. Okay. Before that, the adjudicating authority gives the finding. Then matter goes before the special court, which is again a high court. Special court not under the Companies Act. Under PMLA, there is a special court. See, under the Special Courts Act, under PMLA, they have created special court. And that court will hear. And finally, the court will pass the order. Because adjudicating authority is executive functionary. He is recording a finding and he is giving that finding to the special court, producing it. The special court will hear the matter judicially. And finally, the judicial will pass the order confiscating. Okay. Once the confiscation is confirmed by the special court, then the director or any other officer authorized by him shall forthwith take possession of the property. Okay. Then, if it is not practical to take possession, the order of confiscation shall have the same effect as if the property had been taken possession. So, whoever is in possession now will be illegal. Illegally in possession. They can be evicted and all. That comes later. So, the finding, again, I am repeating before you have a doubt, this is not the same special court that we saw in the last class. This is a different special court under the PMLA, not under the Companies Act. Okay. This is a special court who is meant for hearing PMLA matters, all economic offences. So, finding by special court on conclusion of trial, the offence of money laundering has been committed, then order that such property shall stand confiscated to the central government. Or offence of money laundering has not been committed, then the property will be released. Okay, this is where you need a good lawyer and show again and again what is that one question you have to answer. One question you have to answer. What is that? The sources of his income, earning, or assets, out of which or by means of which he has acquired the property. So this is where many chartered accountants play games, creating sources, using agricultural income, using this, that, and all, trying to create a facade. And all. Okay. That's where it becomes a problem. That is the only practice area here, sir. Okay, creating source. So you can try that one area of practice is there. So not able to see much in it. If you think it is good, please. Right. Now, time now is almost 8 o'clock. Let me give a small break. So we will come again at 8:15 when I will take you through the balance part of PMLA and we will see. Right. Small break, sir. Rizarji, small break. Welcome back from, I hope, a well-deserved break. There are some questions. Let's look at that. Appointment and remuneration of managerial personnel. Assignment has been uploaded, but the class notes have not been uploaded. Okay, I will definitely do that, Mr. Boni. Give me time. Today I'm traveling to Madurai. So tomorrow, maybe if I'm a little free, I will do it. By maximum, by weekend, I will do it. 100% I will do it. Along with FEMA notes and PMLA notes also. Everything I will put it on to me. I'm so sorry for operation. I didn't realize that I have not uploaded operation and mismanagement. I'm so sorry. And similarly, managerial, are you sure about that? Okay, I'll re-upload it if you so desire. Managerial personnel, definitely remuneration, 100% I will do it. Okay, Boni again with confusion. Here it is said that adjudicator sends the notice, that is the ED sends the notice, but the ED is the executory part, right? At the special court. Yeah. Correct. No. Adjudication, maybe my mistake also. See, the enforcement directorate gives the finding. Okay. Sorry, I'll just go to that particular slide. So this part, the slide I'm now showing is adjudication. It shall by an order record a finding whether any of the properties referred to in the notice are involved in money laundering. See, the reason why this finding becomes important is because the special court cannot do the investigation. The special court can only hear the matter. So after doing the investigation, that finding is not 1 line or 2 lines. It will be pages and pages. And finally, the conclusion will be based on all the above evidence collected, based on this own statement. We hereby declare that these properties are. That will be filed with the. Then automatically, once the finding is given, the attachment will continue. Okay. And the matter will go to the special court. Then the special court will not adjudicate. They will simply give their final order. That's called order. That is not adjudication. Okay. Maybe my confusion was created by me. Sorry for that. I hope now you are clear about the legal terms. Okay. So the adjudicating part is this. Finding of. Then that finding is sent to the special court. Special court passes an order. Why this system is there? Because that is why executory may sometimes be misusing the power. Therefore, they have given a final judicial review on this matter. So that last chance to prove his innocence is given to this gentleman. If there's a genuine innocent, he can go there. But by and large, by the time the adjudication is done and the finding is given, his nails are there in the coffin because it will be totally fact and all evidence will be there. He has to only question that evidence and he has to say the evidence is framed, the evidence is created. Okay, you claim that he can do in the court. In the special court, he will say all this evidence is framed, all this evidence is not real, bogus. Okay, chalo, you prove it. Their matter will go on. It will take a long time. Finally, with all that, they will. Okay. What is corporeal in incorporeal? See, corporeal means having body. Corpus means body. Corporeal means having body. Incorporeal means not having body. Means intellectual property, right? Anything that is, shall we say, you are intangible. Yeah. The same meaning as tangible and intangible. Corporeal or incorporeal. They need not have included it here because intangible property, how to attach. Yeah. But then, so intangible, you can say corporeal means tangible. Incorporeal means intangible. Corpus means body. Corporeal means having a body. Incorporate means to give structure and body. When a company is incorporated, it gets body. Okay. Right. So that is incorporation. Don't confuse with incorporeal. Incorporeal means not having a body. Incorporation means creating a body. Okay. So all comes out of the Latin term corpus, body. Corpus Christi is body of Christ. so on and so forth. So we have seen all this. Moving on. Where a property stands confiscated to the central government under Section 8(5), the special court in such manner may, as may be prescribed, may also direct the central government to restore such confiscated property or plant thereof of a claimant with legitimate interest in the property who may have suffered a quantifiable loss as a result of the offense of money laundering. There may be a victim also of that. So he might be given some relief by restoration. That is, such a property is falsely sold to somebody who becomes the owner by paying good money. So that what was created out of illegal money is legally sold. And a legitimate buyer is now there. So he may prove that he is a legitimate buyer. How to prove it? He has to show that he had no knowledge of money laundering. He honestly believed the property is a free property. He did his due diligence. He paid good money. He has to prove his source completely. My proof, I have 100% honest money. I have purchased the property. I have genuinely incurred loss. Kindly give the property back. It can be restored. In which case, the amount will become issue. Whatever the amount was received now by these people, that will have to be now traced and confiscated. Okay. Provided the special court shall not consider such claim unless it is satisfied that the claimant has acted in good faith and has suffered the loss despite having taken all reasonable precautions and is not involved in the offense of money laundering. That's very important. See, these are areas where you can help clients. Where clients have genuinely got caught, you can help them. These are areas where legitimately you and I can honorably get into this and work. Nothing wrong. Nothing ignoble about such work. Helping an innocent man is always good. Nothing wrong in that. So once an order of confiscation has been made, the property shall vest. The word vest is very important. Vest means belong or lie. Vest. Absolutely in the hands of central government, free from all encumbrances. Now you understand the meaning absolutely. The word absolutely means with right to do anything. The central government will become absolute owner of the property. Now the special court or the adjudicating authority shall attach or seize the property only after giving an opportunity of being heard to the person interested in the property. If any encumbrance or leasehold has been created with a view to defeat the provisions of this chapter, then it may declare such encumbrance or leasehold interest to be void. And thereupon the aforesaid will vest in the central government free from that. Okay. Any liability in respect of such encumbrances may be enforced against any person shall not be discharged from such person. See, suppose a mortgage has been created. Okay. Then that liability on that mortgage will still be there, but the property will be released from that, but the liability will still be there. So if somebody has lent money against the property, bogus, knowingly bogus, they have lent money, knowing it's a money laundered property, then that will be declared as void and the encumbrance will be void and the mortgage will be cleared. Central government will take the property, but the amount has been lent now, that liability will be still due. Mr. K used his car for smuggling cash, and the special court found on conclusion of the trial that an offense of money laundering was committed by Mr. K under the provisions of the PMLA. The car was under, so finally, do you understand? This is the final order, right? And the car was under hypothecation to a nationalized bank. Referring to the provisions, examine whether the car can be confiscated. Yes, it can be, but Mr. K will still have to repay that money to the bank. But the car will now become property of central government. Okay. Word of caution. Whenever you sell a vehicle, please obtain transfer certificate and possession certificate from the owner, together with his ID proof. The new owner, the guy who's buying it from you, get his ID proof, ask him to sign it, get his contract details, get his address proof, and keep it safely. Also, the possession certificate saying, I have taken possession on such and such a date, such and such a time. Because suppose somebody buys your car and you forget to do that, such a car can be used for smuggling. In which case, you will continue to be recorded as the owner and you will be in trouble. Okay. So again, a lesson learned when I was 23 years old. My father sold a car without taking the receipt. Casually, he sold the car. He went off to America. I was sitting here. I'm getting a notice from the Forestry Department. Karnataka State Forestry Department suddenly sending a notice saying, your car has been seized. Kindly come and report before the court for sandalwood smuggling. So then I had to hunt around for the agent who sold the car, who bought the car from my father, some casual fellow. I collared him and I got an affidavit from him stating that he has sold. He could also not, he gave one address that I sent it to the Forestry Department and filed affidavit to the court by post. I sent it by registered post. I said, I have sold it. This is the proof. Now you take whatever action you want against the guy. Okay. So it went. Lesson once learned, never forgotten, continue to be shared. The central government may by order published in the official gazette appoint as many of its officers to perform the functions of administrator. So basically the administrator will take measures to protect the property and all that, etc. See, when properties are seized by the customs and income tax is also involved, there is an appropriate authority. And the appropriate authority will be the administrator. So like that. Now, these are somewhat, well known. I've already taught this. Remember these words? The adjudicating authority shall have the same powers as are vested in a civil court while trying a suit. You remember we saw all this for NCLT and NCLAT. Same, which means what is the message I'm getting? The adjudicating authority is in a quasi-judicial role. When they are going through a money laundering matter, they are in a quasi-judicial role. The minute we say quasi-judicial role, immediately one more word should come to you. That is principles of natural justice. The minute we say principles of natural justice, another very important thing should come to mind. What is that? Reasonable opportunity of being heard. So if the reasonable opportunity is not given, straight away, that itself is a point in special court. You can say, I was not given reasonable opportunity. Please give me another opportunity to present. Okay. Now we are moving on to another very important area, which is obligation of banking companies, financial institutions, and intermediaries. So we are now saying goodbye to the core portion of PMLA. What is money laundering? What is the punishment? Adjudicating authority, attachment, confiscation, restoration. Cycle over. Now we are going to the obligation of banking companies, financial institutions, and other intermediaries and other reporting entities. So whenever certain transactions are entered into which are suspicious, then or the banking company has to report. So reporting entity means banking company, financial institution, intermediary could be a broker, share broker, whatever, or a person carrying on a designated business, mainly gold jewelry, okay, precious stones, gem, they are all designated business, okay, real estate, costly cars, not ordinary cars, costly cars, imported cars, 1 crore and above, designated business. They have to inform, so-and-so bought the car. So if he is given, if he is having the source, fantastic. If no source, he has to answer. Okay. So person carrying on business or profession means person carrying on activities of playing of games of chance, casino, etc. Inspector General of Registration, our sub-registrar, real estate agent, dealers in precious metals, precious stones, and other high-value goods. Like I told you, high-value goods like costly motor car, Harley Davidson bike, whatever, 4 crore, 5 crore, one vehicle. Okay, how do you buy it? As a source. Okay, that is what. Now you know how it is done. It is all deposited, collected, transferred, routed, loan. That loan used to buy this high-value goods. So, person carrying on such other activities as central government may designate from time to time, whatever. Including they may bring cryptocurrency into it quickly. In another matter of 6 months, you will suddenly find cryptocurrency getting into this. Okay? Because that is another money laundering, beautiful money laundering route. Of course, that is a bigger story. The digital currency is a bigger, dark story. See, if you understand the digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, you will realize that cryptocurrencies are more valuable in the dark web. Now, the dark web is a place where today online, these narcotics, the terrorism, the extortion, murder, all these people meet there. In other words, complete criminal elements now hang out in the dark web. So contracts are, given in the dark web. And now when the dark web, I take a contract to kill. So I have a site. It is totally protected from hacking, even ethical hacking by the FBI. So you send me a message. It's a coded message. I see it. All I need is name. That's all. And address or location. That's all. I will go there, take 2 strong rifles. That's my job. Yeah, I'm a contract killer. Just go there. Dishum. That's all. Man died. Then how to pay now to me? First, initially, when I take the contract, I'll tell you 50% of the amount to be deposited in Bitcoin. I'll give you an account number. Bitcoin will go there. Transfer. Then, dishum. I'll send you proof of the dead body. Then, balance to be transferred. Not joking. That's how it's done. So, Bitcoin will come. What will I do with that Bitcoin now? That is how that Bitcoin becomes very, very valuable. Because if you want to kill somebody, you have to pay in Bitcoin. Where will you buy the Bitcoin from? This market. That is why these Bitcoins are becoming very, very costly. Because so many Bitcoins are needed for this. Narcotic payments. So, stuff delivered on such and such a place, immediately on transfer. Bitcoin comes to my account. Of course, finally, what will I do with all that Bitcoin? See, today, this is where, once you start giving legitimacy to Bitcoin, in a way, we will be giving legitimacy to crime. This is a darker side of Bitcoin that many techies will ignore, or quietly they will wash over it. They won't accept it. But the fact is that many seminars I have stood up and asked, is it not correct? They will simply, Mr. Srikanth, you don't understand technology. And I said, where is the technology here, Baba? It is about ethics. Technology, okay, you are a blockchain, crypto and all, right? Bottom line of it is you are supporting crime. All your code is going to support narcotics, pedophilia, okay? All sorts of dirty things are being supported by Bitcoin. And so that is a bigger point. Forget whether it's legal, illegal, how to tax it. See, so taxing it is the least of our problems. Prohibiting it is what we have to be doing, or bringing it under government scrutiny. So once it comes under government scrutiny, it will come through the PMLA route. Then reporting entities will be there. That is what I'm saying. It will come. That they will become reporting entities. And they will have to give identity of people who are buying Bitcoins. In India, at least. If somebody is buying cryptocurrency, whatever it may be, not necessarily Bitcoin, I need to know who is doing it. Why is he buying? For what is he selling? What is he doing? Okay. So this reporting entity should maintain a record of all transactions. Okay. The format is given. Then they have to furnish to the director online. Okay. What is the amount? Whether attempted or executed. Even if the fellow comes and says, I've got 10 lakhs cash, sell me gold. It has to be reported. But normally there, we were asking me a question, Sumitji, should I report it to the police and all? That is generally, I will say, not to file a police complaint. No, or rather, instead of giving a police complaint, you can report this to the director. Generally, I would say don't go there. Avoid the transaction like the elephant and don't go near the pig. Slightly avoid the pig, send it out and become clean and go ahead with your life. Don't go there. May not be a good idea because basically you are dealing with the criminals and you are dealing with unruly people. Don't go there. So while you are on animal stories, one more animal story told by my mother when I was in 8th standard. I used to give advice to boys and tell them don't do like this, do like that. And my mother always used to say be careful because there was a monkey and a small weaver bird. The weaver bird was constructing a nice, nest for itself and its family. And while doing so, it saw the monkey on the tree playing and eating fruits and all. So he told the monkey, dear monkey, please don't be like this. Build yourself a small house on a branch so that it will be useful to you later. Monkey said, go to hell, man. Don't irritate me like that. So immediately nothing happened. Then rain started pouring. When the rain started pouring, the weaver bird went into the house, all of family. Safely they are there in the rain, warm. outside in the branch, the monkey is sitting there shivering. So that time the weaver bird should have kept his mouth shut. It goes out and says, see, I told you at that time itself to build a house. If you have built, you would be happy. The monkey got angry and it destroyed the nest of the weaver bird, that hut of the weaver bird. And the weaver bird was left without a house. So my mother always used to say, don't be like the weaver bird, giving advice to the monkey. If you see a monkey, avoid the monkey, because the monkey will only waste your life. It will be too much botheration. I think I've given you two stories, elephant and pig, and weaver bird and monkey. Don't deal with pigs and monkeys. They are never good. Avoid them. Finally, if you fight with a pig, okay, both of you will get dirty and the pig will actually enjoy it. If you fight with a pig, you will get dirty. Pig is enjoying what it's doing. Okay, so don't do that. Okay, coming back out of the animal stories, Panchatantra mode into this. Maintain record of documents evidencing identity of its clients. This is the crux, and beneficial owners, as well as account files and business correspondence relating to its clients. Now, this is one area where, in a democratic country, how far can the government ask for private information? This has been a vexed question. Is this good? All our private information is going. The excuse or the justification given, we are protecting the other citizens from narcotics, from drug addiction, from crime. Therefore, this is justifiable. So, it has been questioned in court of law. Courts have consistently said government can put in place reasonable framework for protection. So nothing wrong. You can call for such information. But whatever information is maintained or furnished will be confidential. It cannot be revealed to anybody except the government. Because remember, the banks have confidentiality. They cannot reveal transactions to anybody. Even, see, the two things only they can reveal to income tax department, provided they have a order. Okay, they can't just like that give. They have to get a written order. Only then they will give. Similarly, under the PMLA, they can give. Only the government departments, that too specifically income tax, GST, they can ask, and they will get. Okay, that too, it is done very formally, and they have to only give the information. Whatever account mentioned, they will give. That's all. No other information. So how long they should maintain? Normally for 5 years for A and B, where they have to maintain identity of the clients. That is for 5 years after the business relationship between a client has ended. Also for 5 years, they have to keep the identity anytime. Okay. So prior to the commencement of transaction, they should verify the identity of the client, examine the ownership and financial position, including sources of funds of the client. Okay, they can ask, where do you get it from? Record the purpose behind conducting the specified transaction. Especially so for banks. If you take, suddenly you take 10 lakh in cash and deposit, you give PAN number also, they'll say, who are you? Why are you depositing? Okay. Now, if the client fails to fulfill the conditions, the transaction should not be allowed. Now, there the bank is duty bound to inform. Okay. Right. So, if the reporting entity does not comply with this, then they can issue a warning in the DD, the director can issue a warning, then they direct to comply with the incident. Periodic reports will be asked, and finally they can impose a penalty of 10,000 to 1 lakh per failure. Right? Again, under the PMLA also, we have appellate hierarchies. As you know, you have the adjudicating authority. If you are not happy with the finding, then you go to the appellate tribunal. Then finally, all matters come before the special court. If you are not happy with the order of the special court, you go to the high court. So finally, you go to the appeal to the appellate tribunal. Within the framework of this, then the whole thing gets resolved. And finally, the adjudicating authority sends the finding to the special court. Do you understand that cycle? There's a finding, you go on appeal, appellate tribunal asks the adjudicating authority to go deeper into it, send the finding again, everything is clear. Then the final finding goes to the special court, order, not happy, go to high court, Supreme. So you can go to the appellate, and the appeal to the appellate tribunal should be filed within 45 days of the order made by the adjudicating authority. Okay. So it could be any order made by the adjudicating authority. Then the appellate tribunal will give the parties an opportunity of being heard, and finally they will pass the order. They can either modify or set aside or even reject it and say, go back. The finding goes to special. Okay. The decision of the appellate tribunal should be by a majority. Okay. If there is two members and they differ, then there will be reference to the chairman. Finally, he will hear and he will pass the order. Okay. Such point or point shall be decided according to the opinion of the majority of the members of the appellate tribunal who have heard the case. That is 2 plus 1, 3. If 2 are in favor, then 2. No, then no. Any person aggrieved by an order of appellate tribunal will go to High Court. From the appellate tribunal to the High Court. Because the special courts, once the finding goes, only special court will come. Otherwise, if you are not happy, you go to the High Court from the appellate tribunal. Okay. The special courts are meant only for confiscation. Final. Okay. Any matters can go to High Court. Again, the High Court will pass an order, send it back to the appellate court, like that. Okay. As you are well aware, offences under PMLA shall be cognizable and non-bailable. Now you know what is the meaning. You cannot, on your own word, you cannot get a bail. The public prosecutor will fix a bail or he may refuse bail also. You have to argue. And finally, your advocate will get some terms. You can come. Okay. So, cognizable offense in one, a police officer may arrest without any warrant. Okay. So, that is also there. Without a warrant, a police officer can arrest. And CBI officers, customs officers are all empowered with the same power. So we already saw that, public prosecutor and all that. Finally, we'll see offense of cross-border implication. Any conduct by a person at a place outside India, which constitutes an offense at that place, and which would have constituted an offense specified in Part A or Part B or Part C, had it been committed in India, and if such person transfers in any manner the proceeds of such conduct to India. Or any offense under Part A, Part B or Part C committed in India and the proceeds are going to be taken outside India. In both these cases, Indian government has reciprocal agreements. So when that money comes here, we have to report. When our money goes there, they have to report. Or our transaction, they have to report. Mr. Rohit has been in employment in Germany for past 3 years. He was involved in a conduct which constituted an offense in Germany. The conduct would have been considered an offense in India as well, if it had been committed in India. The proceeds involved in the offense are 60 lakhs. Mr. Rohit attempted to remit 50 to India. The government of India held this offense as an offense of cross-border implication. Is the contention of India is correct? See, this again is not a problem. It's a theory. You have to write this fully and say, in view of the above implication, it is a cross-border implication. It has offense of cross-border implications, right? So, my dear friends, see, sometimes I'm thinking, thank you, Mr. Sudhir. See, Panchatantra has been a great method of making people understand bigger things. What a great country we are, where simple stories involving animals can teach great lessons of life. Anyway, thank you for that. And I was wondering why, our classes are getting over 15 minutes early, 20 minutes early like that. Reason is you guys are not asking enough questions. Because earlier, many of my sessions used to have heavy questions. And I used to be answering, and that will take some time. So that is why the timing was fixed based on that. But in the absence of questions, coverage is faster. And we are able to cover. I hope I have done it to the best of my knowledge and abilities. If you have any further doubts, kindly ask any doubts that you might have. One more thing is, I'm sorry to know from Mr. Bonijos that I have not uploaded. I'm so sorry. So as I understand it, remuneration of managerial personnel, that means only remuneration of managerial personnel or powers of board also. Okay. Remuneration of managerial personnel, oppression and mismanagement, and then these two topics, FEMA, compounding, PMLA, etc., etc. I will upload all of it, inshallah, as soon as possible. Okay. If you have no other questions, kindly, we will call it a day. I'm just waiting for any other questions. Okay. No questions. Thank you very much. Bye. See you on Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. sharp, when we'll take up Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, another very interesting law, which has a totally different purpose altogether. Again, dealing with foreign currency. Thank you. Bye. Sir, class over, sir. Listen, class over. Nisarg ji.
Recording stopped.